This is Dan Max, the trading agent. This is a stock trading and recap channel that I wanted to share to the masses. In a probability game, there's no certainty. Here are my insights and predictions.
This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the trading agent. Recap for the week of November 26th, Thanksgiving week. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, stuffed their face, feeling good. Interesting market today. We'll get into that shortly, but yeah, just wanted to get my recap out as quick as possible so people can get time to look at it. It's probably going to be the weekend one's going to be at least 30 minutes every weekend, but again, it's recapping the week and also trying to predict what's going to happen next week. So I apologize if it's long. If you have to just listen to it, I would. Not all the charts might matter to you, but let's just keep in mind a lot of things and be thankful that there's information out there. I mean, I use Discord, Twitter, a lot of places to kind of keep up on some of the relative information. I got briefing.com. I've got my computers, my charts, my experience. I got friends who are also trading that I'm in constant chatter with. There's a lot to know, and today's action was definitely, I wouldn't say out of the blue, because we'll get into why we saw it possibly happening, but it was also a good learning lesson for today for hopefully a lot of people, because the markets have been pretty complacent. So in the probability game, as we'll talk about, these are the things that are hard to predict. Your MACD, RSI, stochastics, all your other price following measurements will not tell you this is going to happen, and they can't. And that's why people who know me love to joke that I just hammer on people who trade that stuff. But hey, TradingView's got 60% off all of your indicators if you want to pay for them today. So on that note, let's move on to what's really going on. So next week is the last week of November, beginning of December. If you look at the Stock Traders Almanac, you can see Monday's bullish, Tuesday bearish, Friday bullish. Typically, the first couple days of a month is typically bullish. I would keep that in mind. There's going to be new money coming in potentially for the Christmas rallies. Today's news is rather interesting. By the close, I know this is just a meme here, but I hear there's a new variant to the money printer quickly. Like, that seems pretty logical. I know there's a ton of excess in the market, but if there's going to be another variant that's super variant that's going to scare the shit out of everything, like, Fed's got to go and print more money, and ultimately I don't think they're going to give up the power that they like having with COVID until there's lower numbers and no shutdowns globally. We're kind of in this place of never-ending crises. So that's the reality. That's the volatility. That's the market. So let's get into it. Bitcoin, we talked about this earlier. The green zone fails, coming into the black line. We hit it today. I could see us back testing the trend lines. I mean, I'll do a little triangle here. All right, back to the video. Sorry about that. The wife was calling. We got plans to go watch UNC NCSU football with some friends. Go Pack. Yeah, so I could see some sort of back testing to these trend lines at some point. They're not as important as support equals resistance, because I think you can see. Here, I'll mark this chart up for everybody. I just don't. Everyone just complains, oh, you draw too much. Well, that's what I do on my charts. I try to find support equals resistance. That's what I would be looking at. Let's clear this guy out. And let's just put another box in. And this is what I would expect. Somewhere in this area is very possible over the weekend, the next few days. Bitcoin's tough sometimes. I mean, sadly, they are now trading Bitcoin futures, and you know what? That's not good for the futures game, because it is manipulated. So I apologize that the charts, a little bounce around with the wife calling, but that's what it is. So I hope you understand that there is some pullback potential, but we'll see what happens. Let's get into the typical rotation. We'll start with Mr. Roblox. A buddy of mine hit me up earlier and was like wondering what I was doing with it. Whatever I was doing with it, and I was like, the easy decisions have been made. Sell and let's just hang out. See what happens. I mean, if there's more shutdowns, Roblox should get love. So going into next week, I think it's going to be choppy. You can see there's, you had the big blow off in red. Now you've got this, what I would call, I'd keep it real tight. If we can get back up to the highs, great. That's that could be 20 points in that. But if we don't, if I see the trend line break, I mean, the first is going to be 110. Oh, man, I'm going to mark all these charts up since it is the weekend. We got the time. Again, I have this all on other charts with my computer. There's 8 screens. I just hate sharing it with this computer because it literally looks like absolute shit trying to figure it out. I would say that area would be the next support. Keep in mind, that's probably the old highs somewhere in there. Yep, over here. It's interesting how when you broke out over the highs, you back tested it. You can see right there. Yep. So I would be looking at that range. Oh, that's just not straight, is it? Keep that in mind. Just 109 to 102. If you get there, I would expect a bounce. Just keep it that simple. In my world of trading, it's not on my radar right now. A lot of people I know own it, so I'll take care of them and take a look at it. But at this point, I got nothing on it. It's just the easy money was taken. If you held on to it, you're kind of probably playing the guessing game. If you can sell in the 120s, 130s, even 140s, you were feeling pretty good. I mean, that's almost a double. EXPI. EXP, the best realty company in the world, in my opinion. That's why I work for them. I like this gap fill. If you this, set an alarm. I'm going to remind myself, alarm 35. Let's just write it on this. Because if you see 35s on EXPI, I would start nibbling on it. And just keep it that simple. I mean, it's pretty obvious what's going on here. And I know there's a seasonality to real estate companies. I mean, you can tell here, November, and then started the run up into the spring. This one doesn't have a long. Let's compare Zillow. Because seasonality for real estate makes sense. Because obviously there's certain times of the year that are better for real estate. Let's go back in the Wayback Time Machine. Yeah, Zillow was just killing it. Yep. Okay. Ran up into February. This is, not really telling you much. I mean, a lot of it hinges on rates, but typically, as you're noticing, there is a run up into February. That's been seen multiple times on charts here. Here's the last, February 21. It is a typical seasonality. And I know people ask me about seasonality and why I like these charts because they're literally repeating patterns based on long time frames and bigger moves. I mean, day trading, like the intraday patterns of the first hour bottom, potentially first hour and a half bottom, to chop for lunch, and then continuation in the afternoon. Those types of moves, where they are kind of predictable at times, they're not as predictable as longer period trading. And I know that can be a little confusing, but think about it. What can affect the market during the day? Ding, ding, ding. News. Well, news gets smoothed over time on a bigger trend in time. So the day-to-day news doesn't really affect, your trends. Like if EXP is rising going into the spring selling season, as long as the spring selling season doesn't hit some big sort of snafu, then it's going to continue to rise. Like that, the day-to-day news doesn't fucking matter. So just keep that in mind. That's why I like swing trading versus day trading. I mean, you guys who day trade, just don't. Two things for day trading I always recommend. Have a big plant nearby, just in case you got to piss and you can't get away your computer. You can piss in the plant pot. And 2, don't pull out your hair. That's all I recommend for day traders. If you get that analogy, you know why. Because if you day trade, you're going to hit that shit long enough. RIVN, here we go. We drew the W. It didn't really finish off. You can see what happened there, though. Retest. We set an alarm, 106. I like it. I mean, I didn't play it today because of the market in general. I just didn't really do much of anything other than snag a little gold and silver and a little PENN. I did it a little late. Honestly, when I woke up this morning, I saw the market was down and was just like, man, holiday extravaganza. This is such a joke. And guess what? We closed, a lot of the stuff that I bought ended up doing okay. Some of it just kind of chilled. Again, I'm not all or nothing. I'm not going huge this time of year. I have anticipations of things, but I do like the metals. Maybe I'll be ultimately dead wrong on it. If I am, I will not be the first time. You can laugh at me all you want, but just remember you will be dead wrong at some point too. And I'm not going to laugh at you because I'm going to say, hey, losing's part of the game. If everyone always win, then it wouldn't be a gambling game. It would be a money printer game. It'd be like the Fed. You can never lose. Dollar. Okay, so here we go. This blue zone, talked about this being possible resistance. Let's just type that in. Keep it real simple. Resistance zone. It's in blue. Oh, gosh. Edit. Yeah, it's in blue. It is what it is. I hope I didn't turn the box black. All right, whatever. Yeah, we hit up there yesterday, and one of the things that we were talking about was, what's the upside left on this? And I was starting to say, you know what? Hey, Doji yesterday, and again, if you watch the Back to Basics series, Doji. Anytime you see indecision at major support resistance, that should be just alarms going off. Oh, shit. Do I need to act, or I got to pay attention? You had a Doji over, and look today, he gapped down. I mean, that's the power of probabilities and knowing all the signals. I'll need to do more videos on the different signals, but right now there's only a few that are super powerful. In general, there's continuation patterns, all sorts of other shit. It's just not even worth messing around with because at a certain point, unless you're aggressively trading all the time, you don't need that shit. Just less is more. Everyone's heard that before. So dollar gap down today, not surprised. Yesterday, this is one of the things that I had a scratch in my head, because I saw the action and I was like, man, European lockdowns, whatever, they're always overreacting to this shit. And again, not that COVID's a fake or hoax. It's just at some point you have to let the economy do what it's going to do because people die every year from the flu, pneumonia. I mean, my wife works in medicine. If you're immunocompromised, all of these diseases could fucking kill you, but the average person is not going to die. So we can't lock up the economy forever. So anyway, I don't want to go off on that tangent. But this is what I was watching. The TLT. Look at this big-ass green candle. We held the trend line, blue area. And I was just wondering. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Because I did not think bonds would... I thought we'd bottom here, but I didn't think we'd bounce so strongly. So when you engulf the previous day's highs... Alert. You're now taking out the lows... low candle, and now this is potentially starting to uptrend. Well, today you got the gap up to the trend line, which is not ironic, but that's where it closed. Get over this, close over it. And you notice we can't close over it. Then if so, rates are going lower. Again, everybody thinks rates are going lower. I don't like to jump on a crowded bus like that because usually that's when the trade is over. Everybody thinks bond yields are going higher. The TLT is going lower. It just doesn't look like it. That's another higher low then off the bottom because you have higher low. That's what you call an uptrend. Bond bears, I'm sorry. VIX. So this was where I got confused yesterday. And again, if you're not confused by this, then you obviously know something more than I do. And congrats, come to the Discord room and chew me out. Tell me why I'm an idiot. The VIX yesterday gave, I said 2-day range. It broke and closed below it, but then wham, we gapped up. Now, that's hard to predict. That's the news, folks. You want to live and die by your trades by the news? Well, good luck. You're going to die at some point because that's what the news does. It's just unpredictable. You're trading probabilities, and at that point, you are just begging to get just blown out. And so, unfortunately, you know what? I'm not short the VIX, but man, I've been saying W pattern, hold the 20-day, we're going higher. Well, guess what? Boom. Now we're at some levels, as you can see, crash risk, 25 to 31. We're at crash risk levels, but let's be honest. To get over that, we're going to need some more news. We're going to need some more shitty things going on. So at this point, the new variant is pretty located to South Africa, it seems like. There's a few cases globally, but we shall see. Coming into the downtrend and in the high 20s, Crash risk is there, but if it doesn't, you who short the SPY might get run over. That's all I'm saying. Today's volume was higher than it should have been, but I think what happens when you get news like this and nobody's around, people sell first, ask questions later, because that's what I would do. If you were long the market and you couldn't pay attention, you just go on and you hit sell, and then you come back later. Well, guess what? That's what happened today. We broke the 20-day. I've been saying trend line and 20-day. If you're long the SPY, that is your go-to move. Well, we broke it. Gap down below it. Shorts, they're winning. Shorts got their pants up right now. Could they get bent over backwards? I will not be surprised, because holiday weeks and the action in them can be very deceiving. Just keep it what it is. I mean, it feels like short the rumor, buy the news. And it's crazy that the VIX spikes to 30 on a day where it's only down 2%. What are we, like 3% off the highs, 4%? I mean, this market is just so complacent compared to when I learned to trade. So until things change, just assume the same complacency. The Qs said the 20-day was similar, and I even drew it intraday. Said, if you're long Qs in tech, it got real choppy in the last hour, but we closed below it. Again, I'm not short anything. Maybe that's why. So I could be wrong here, but the seasonality doesn't feel right. And I think I did this earlier where we did a little joke about the MACD and how just totally wrong it can be. Well, guess what? Let me show you how the MACD can just fuck you hard. So, okay, looks like it's rolling over. Well, guess what? It's been chopping for a while. Well, look at this whole uptrend. The MACD was heading down and down until for months. But what did it do? It just chopped to new highs. I fucking hate the MACD. Christmas crosses, all this shit. It's an absolute joke. The 20-day is more important. That's where I give more validity to, because look what happens. When you break the 20-day, you typically go lower. When you get back over the 20-day, you go higher. That to me is better. And again, even at times, the 20-day broke, but the 50-day was support, the channel low. 20-day held, 20-day held, 20-day held, 20-day, 20. You see what I mean? Your MACD does not give you shit. Again, these topics fire me up because I have been burned and seeing more people get their assholes reamed by MACD. Here's an example, double bottom. Let's just draw for fun because this is the weekend recap. A W bottom, you know I love the W's. W bottom, classic, retest. Oh, that's ugly as shit. But anyway, then the 20-day, you could have bought the 20-day and then you had smooth ass sailing if you're worried about chop. Moving averages, fibs, support equals resistance, way more important than MACD. Let's just move on because I could just sit here and do 30 or 45 minutes of people just critiquing people's opinions of the MACD and just say wrong, 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 and show you 100 examples of why the MACD just follows the fucking price. That doesn't tell you anything. That's not a skill. That's not an advantage. This is seeing an M pattern, seeing, the channels, knowing the 20-day. That's the advantage to short. Because if you shorted here, you are fucking underwater. Maybe it goes to a straight line move and melts down, just like earlier. And where I said, where, the MACD could have been popping and popping, whatever. Once you hit back test of the 20-day, and that was it, good. Doji, rip. Keep it simple. Love you guys, but come debate me. Come debate me in the Discord room. I love it. Gold was up this morning. Came right back to the trend line. I mean, it's so crazy. I've been posting about this every time it gets down there. I mean, it's a W pattern. It's holding trend. I mean, just keep it that simple. Could it break it? Of course. Everything can break at some point. Just don't be that guy. Silver put out an alert, said, you know what? I like it here in the mid-20s. This is the old shoulder line. Here we are coming into it. Maybe it gets to 21.18. Well, bye. Bye. Not bye-bye, but bye. Like, buy it. GDX, this one was a lot of fun today. Broke our trend line, hit a fib, and we said, watch the 50-day. It bounced right back over the 50-day. It's amazing. Amazing how light volume, Low number of participants in the market can create chop. And if you don't know that, you sold low, or you didn't buy any and you just don't trust it and you don't know what's going on. Again, now you know what you can do is you can set this as your stop. If it makes a lower low, that's a downtrend being in continuation. But look at look at today's range. I mean, crazy. 30, like way above yesterday's close and way above yesterday's lower than yesterday's low. Like, this is just a fucking shakeout candle. I don't know how else to explain that to people, but that's what you call a shakeout candle. And you see it sometimes, and you can see it here, like these big long wicks, and they're just super wide and loose. The shit happens. So, what point are you at? Could we be like right here and just need a little bit more? Maybe we need this old trend line. I don't know. I feel like if you're selling the shit down here, you're just going to regret it. You should be buying. AG backed up to our trend line. It went below it temporarily and then popped right back. You can't make the shit up. It's so funny. KL was up for the day. Hey, look at that. A miner that was up. They got their deal going with AEM. Talked about anywhere in the 40s. Just start picking it up. It seems like loose change on the street. Go time. Letter X. Wow. I mean, I was watching it intraday and I was like, it's making a lower low, but look, moving averages. Fuck your MACD. Moving average mattered. It hit the 50-day exactly. Closed at the high of the day. Even though it gapped down, that's buying. That's buying pressure. Gap window, emotion from overnight, closed at the high. All day people are buying. That is strong. Just, you don't have to overthink it. Look at the candle and think about today's action. If the market gaps down, X gaps down too, right? Makes sense. It hits support, 50-day moving average, and it closes at the high of the day. That meant everybody who shorted today was wrong. Literally, everybody who shorted, because you closed at the high of the day. Now, if you shorted 2 days ago, you're a winner, but not today. Think about the psychology of that. Don't overthink it. It's really that simple. AMD, holding high and tight. I keep telling people watch the upper trend line. I mean, I think they're doing great, but I think the stock is due for a pause. We'll see what happens. Could be wrong. Good old Apple. We talked about breaking the downtrend. We said watch out for this doji. It wasn't that it was, or this, this hammer, basically. It was like, pulls back to some of these fibs. I didn't buy the breakout. So, again, because I'm not trying, I saw the Qs potentially taking a dive. So I didn't want to buy the high flyers. I'll get into the shit that we're buying that's at the low, but the high flyers looked like they're due to get, a little bit of pullback. MicroStrategy. God, this thing has been just totally beaten. I thought buys around here with this doji. I personally don't own any. I just watch it because I know others do. At this point, the 200-day make or break. You cannot close below it. If you close below the 200-day, fuck, man, you're right there. There's just easier trades. That's why I sometimes always tell people, I'm like, play the probabilities, but also just close out. There's always easier trades out there. If you trade long enough, you realize that. You just start seeing things. You go, you know what? Do I want to overthink this trade? Or, whoa, look at that. That's easy. I'll just go with that. That's the kind of thinking you have to have sometimes. Good old Tesla. Man, under the 20-day, it's just, again, here's the easy trade. Get the fuck out and just hang out. Sell your covered calls. Take some profits. Take off some. And now you don't have to worry about the day-to-day shit, because what happens after big up moves is consolidation. Down and chop. And again, I don't know if it's going to a downtrend, but Elon Musk is selling. Why the fuck would you be buying? Wait till he'll buy. They'll do a secondary at some low and raise cash, and he'll say, I'll buy 1 million shares. And when he buys that 1 million shares, guess what? You can buy right with him, because it'll probably be at a low. How much lower? I don't know. But Tesla, just moveon.org. Go to Easier Money, and that's where you come into PENN. I think PENN is at a low. Okay, so here we go. It opened up way below where I thought I should stop out. Again, I have manual stops here, not automatic ones, because I like this for the long term. I mean, again, everybody who sold today was wrong on PENN. Where did it close? Near the high of the day. While the stock market was down, this closed at the high of the day. If I told you a stock was doing that, and I didn't tell you the name, what would you think? Is that bullish or bearish? You'd say that's probably bullish. Because if the market's getting slapped and this closes at the high of the day, that's not bearish. It's really that simple sometimes. I like it. Have a stop down here. Have a plan. I mean, my plan is riding with some of the emotions that I'm having personally, because I still think it's so cheap compared to where it was. But guess what? Doesn't mean it can't go lower. I have a stop. I have a plan. XOP. This one's interesting because some of the oil patch names got slapped today. But look at the formation. Doji enclosed right at the freaking lows from a couple days ago. It's amazing. So what happened today? This is called a shakeout. Literally, everybody who sold was wrong. Everybody who bought was wrong. Shakeout, and you're literally right back to where you started. That's a shakeout. Bottom line, it looks interesting. It could be going higher. Good old VALE, 20-day is your friend now because you're over it. The 20-day is your friend. We got a W down here. Scott, I know you. You saw this and we were like, well, 20 days the key. Well, guess what? 20-day held, 20 days good. You're good to go. I don't really think there's anything else to say at that point. Let's get into, where's Mr. PAAS? Pan American Silver. This one's interesting because I see it and I'm like, man, hit the 50-day exactly again. It's playing these games. It looks like it's doing this before the next higher high. So you have, almost duplicate lows. I'd keep an eye on it. That thing could freaking run. Silver is just, I don't even want to get into silver, but it's a strong buy down here for the long term. Exxon Mobil, what's interesting, again, same kind of thing as the XOP. Everybody who freaked out this morning sold below 50.60, and then it closed at 61.25. Again, that's a shakeout. That is a trap. Don't get trapped. It's really that simple. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up here. I mean, again, come on into the Discord room. Leave comments. If you're watching this far and you're not a subscriber, I don't know what to tell you. If there's anything else you want help with, that's what we're doing here. This is going to grow in time. More people are going to realize, again, that there's a lot of knowledge here. There's a lot of experience here, and there's a lot of beginner traders, and I really just kind of laugh at all of it because there's no, they promise certainty. They promise 20% a week, or, every trade I do is 100%. You know what? Maybe it is for the short term, but I guarantee they're not winning always in all markets, because days like today, guess what? Good luck predicting it. You can't predict the news with certainty. It's just no one can. And as Trader Florida said, who I used to subscribe to and have always had a lot of respect for, one of his favorite quotes is, if you trade on a crystal ball, then one day you will be eating ground glass, because you're trying to predict like something magical. And at some point, it's mystical. It's a joke. It's not predictable, and you will throw that thing up against the wall, and you will be eating your words. So that's a good saying. I like that one. There's a few things that I would think next week I would keep an eye on. I know the IYT, the transports broke today, but that candle, it's just, again, on a Friday, all this, it's all a bunch of bullshit. There's so much freaking manipulated action on a day where there's no one around. Think about it. It's Friday, post-Thanksgiving. How many people actually got up and traded today from home? Were they at home? Probably not. Anyway, that's it. That's the weekend recap. Please add comments, subscribe, jump into the Discord room. If you're looking for more help, there's always, no one has perfect answers. You need to figure out what works best for you. I'm here to help. Dan Max at EXP Realty, a.k.a. the trading agent. I'm signing out. I'll see you guys soon enough. And check me out on Twitter, too, because I'm always posting live plays. So, cheers, folks.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like the content. Also, smash the like button, share with your friends, and add a comment. If there's a topic or stock you'd like me to give you insight about, let me know in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer your question. Thanks.